Hello, it's Lee Hayward here with the second part of the muscle building nutrition presentation. In part 1 I covered proper nutrient intake of protein, carbohydrates, fat, and water, and the amounts of each that you should be consuming daily based on your individual needs and fitness goals. In this second part I'm going to outline some practical ways that you can fit a healthy muscle building eating plan into your busy lifestyle. The whole idea of eating 6 well-balanced meals per day is by no means a new concept. If you've read at least one book on the topic of fitness and nutrition, then you probably already have a good idea of how you should be eating. But chances are your main problem is simply not following through, usually due to lack of time and lack of planning. One thing that you're going to discover as you get into the habit of eating a healthy muscle-building nutrition meal plan is that it doesn't take any more time than eating a seafood diet, which basically means eating anything that comes in front of your face. A good example of this is that it would take a lot more time at lunch to go get in your car, head over to the fast food place, wait in line at the drive-thru, and then drive back to work than it would if you had your food prepared and ready to eat in advance. The key to successfully following a healthy muscle-building nutrition program is simply planning ahead. When you cook your food, always prepare for several meals. It doesn't take any more time to cook up larger quantities of food than it does to cook up smaller amounts of food for just one meal. Purposely plan to have leftovers that you can reheat in the microwave. This saves time and makes it easier to have quick, nutritious meals on hand. When I'm cooking, I'll often grill up several steaks at a time, cook up half a dozen chicken breasts or more, bake a dozen or more baked potatoes at a time, cook up a large pot of rice, a large pot of pasta, or whatever. Then I'll pack the food in individual Tupperware containers and store them in the refrigerator to reheat in the microwave for meals later on. Good foods to cook up in bulk include chicken breasts, ground beef meals like meat and vegetable stir-fries, pastas and rice, baked potatoes, and yams. These foods store well and last for several days in the refrigerator. Foods like beef steaks, pork chops, they tend to get rubbery when left over in the fridge. And fish always tastes best when it's cooked and eaten right away. It doesn't store well and it tends to stink up the fridge if it's left over. For packing and storing your food, you'll need to get some plastic food storage containers. Get a half a dozen smaller size containers for packing individual meals, and also get a few bigger containers that you can use for storing leftovers in the refrigerator. Make sure to get good containers with tight-fitting lids so they do not pop off easily. I find that the dollar store is one of the best places to get these. For less than $10 you can have a complete set of plastic containers that you can use for your meals. You're also going to need to get a couple shaker bottles for mixing up protein drinks, and a large insulated lunch bag or a small handheld cooler for taking your food with you to work or to school. Now I'm going to outline a typical day's eating that I follow pretty consistently. You can take the tips and suggestions that I'm going to cover here and modify them to fit your schedule and tastes so you can easily prepare your meals for the day. A quick and easy high-protein breakfast favorite of mine is oatmeal and egg whites. I'll spray a non-stick frying pan with Pam spray and then pour in a cup of liquid egg whites and let them cook on the stove. I'll boil water in an electric kettle for my oatmeal. Then in a large mixing bowl I'll add in 1 to 2 cups of dry oats, and when the water is boiled I'll add it to my oatmeal and place a lid on the bowl to let the oatmeal sit for a few minutes. When the egg whites are cooked, I'll then mix them in with my oatmeal. I'll also add in a scoop of vanilla flavored protein powder, a little cinnamon, and some low-calorie sweetener such as Splenda. This is a very tasty and satisfying meal, and it takes less than 10 minutes to prepare. Before I sit down to eat my oatmeal and egg whites, I'll put on about 4 or 5 frozen chicken breasts on the George Foreman grill. I'll add some seasoning and spices, set the timer, close the lid, and just let them cook. I'll also bake a half a dozen potatoes or yams in the microwave. I just wash them off with water, poke them a few times with a fork to let the steam out, and then put them on for about 10 minutes. By the time I'm finished eating breakfast, the chicken and the potatoes are cooked. I'll then get 3 small plastic food containers and put a chicken breast and a potato in each one. I'll add some salad vegetables like pre-washed salad, baby carrots, or whatever I have on hand. And now I have 3 of my daily meals prepared. I'll put these in my lunch bag along with a big bottle of water. For my morning break, I'll eat one of these meals, and then I'll have another one for lunch, and then have another one for my afternoon break. Now I just want to make a note here that I don't always eat chicken and potatoes day in and day out. The foods I eat will vary. I may have beef, pork, or different kinds of fish for my protein. I may have rice, pasta, pita wraps, or whole wheat bread as my carbs. and I'll vary the vegetables and the fruits that I eat. The key is just to prepare and pack the individual meals in advance so they're ready to eat when you need them. Just make sure to have a serving of protein, carbohydrates, and vegetables or fruit with each meal. I go to the gym right after work, so on my workout days I'll mix up a post-workout drink and take this with me in a shaker bottle. I'll mix up a couple scoops of whey protein and a couple scoops of carbohydrate powder. I'll usually have orange flavor Gatorade and vanilla whey protein. I'll mix this up with 16 ounces of water and drink this right after my workouts. When I get home from the gym, I'll have my supper. Depending on what I'm in the mood for, I may just reheat leftovers that I have in the refrigerator, or I'll cook up something like steak on the barbecue, or make a nice stir-fry meat and vegetable dish. Most people don't have a problem eating well for supper. This is typically the biggest meal of the day for the average person. The main thing is just to make sure to have generous portions of protein foods like chicken, beef, turkey, or fish, wholesome complex carbohydrates like potatoes, yams, brown rice, or whole wheat pasta, and include green vegetables like a garden salad or steamed and stir-fried vegetables. Before bed, I'll eat a high-protein and low-carb snack. One of my favorites is to have a cup of cottage cheese mixed with some fresh berries or some low-sugar fruit jelly. Cottage cheese contains casein protein, which is slow digesting and good to have before bed because it helps provide the body with a steady release of amino acids throughout the night. Well, there you have it, a complete day's eating right from breakfast to bed. As you can see, it's not that complex, nor is it very time-consuming. The main thing is to plan ahead and prepare your meals for the day. Don't be like most people and wait until you're hungry before you think about what you're going to eat. This is what leads people to vending machines and drive-through windows where they load up on processed junk foods. Avoid the temptations by being prepared. The rewards of feeling and looking better, having increased energy levels, as well as making better progress in the gym are well worth the small amount of discipline that it takes to plan your meals in advance. If you'd like to get more personalized help with planning out your own muscle building nutrition plan, I'm available for one-on-one coaching. Just check out my website at www.leehayward.com/dietplan.htm.